day, everyone. Before we discuss our lesson one, let's just introduce our learning competencies. No? So at the end of the lesson, you will be able to determine the structure of a specific academic text and weigh the use of language in academic texts from various disciplines and explains the specific ideas contained in various academic texts. Now, what is our lesson one? It is academic language used from various disciplines. Of course, it was prepared by yours truly, Ms. Jaisa B. Canubida. Now, let's go proceed on defining what text is, academic text, and non-academic text. So, text is a word or could be written or printed. No, wherein we could usually see in books, technologies, specifically in different social media platforms, and so on and so forth. And we also do have academic text. What is academic text? It is refers to a piece of writing which focuses on a specific academic subject or topic through academic writing that the writer intends to prove a theory or viewpoint in one way or the other. Meaning, academic texts are written by professionals in the given field. It is also well edited and it is often takes years to be published. Why? Because it was supposedly studied thoroughly and we have to come up with deep researching to prove their theory. An academic text usually uses formal language, and it also contains words and terms specific to the field. For example, if it is a doctor writing about a certain things in the field of medicine, then therefore he or she might be using words in terms of specific in medicine alone. No? And also, class, academic text contains list of sources and references, and it has a main goal to advance human understanding in a particular discipline. And it can also be challenging for novice or beginner readers. And academic texts is also informative, argumentative, and objective in nature, meaning it has a purpose and it has a goal. And examples of academic texts are school books and textbooks, journal articles, research proposals in papers, or some newspapers and magazine articles, or it could be thesis and dissertations. No? And we also do have non-academic text, which refers to a piece of writing which focuses on a general topic rather than any academic topic. It also focuses on audience or the mass public. It means that we have in non-academic text, we have random audiences or we have a huge number of audiences or readers. And examples of academic texts are blog posts, fiction books, letters, journals, and diaries. And in addition, academic texts, the author of non-academic texts can be also unknown. No? Unlike in academic texts, writers should introduce themselves. But in non-academic texts, authors or writers can be unknown. And it usually delivers simple and basic informations. And it can be read and easily understood by any kind of reader since it is consisting personal and emotional um, writings or it is subjective in nature. Now, let us know the nature and characteristic of an academic text. So, an academic text is a written language that provides information which contains ideas, concepts that are related to the particular discipline. It could be essay, research, paper, report, project, article, thesis, and dissertation that are considered as academic texts. And academics also has structure. Structure is the basic academic text consists introduction, body, and conclusion, which is formal and logical. And academic text also consists tone, which is refers to attitude that convey in a piece of writing, meaning using tone, you can easily notice or you can easily identify the attitude of the writer, whether it is sad, joyful, or angry. And aside from that, we also do have particular language to use when we are creating academic texts. There are selected language that we have to use, but we should always, and it is important for us to um, take note that when you are creating academic texts, make sure that your readers could understand the text itself. No? And we also do have citation. Citation is the references wherein we gather information to show evidence and to prove the theory of the writer. And aside from citation, we also have complexity. It is an academic text addresses complex issues that require higher order thinking skills to comprehend. When you say complexity, it is the difficulty or the complications of understanding particular topic or particular issue. That's why you have to possess higher order thinking skills for you to easily understand a specific academic texts. No? And as a part of the nature, we also do have evidence-based arguments, which valued an academic text and opinions are based on a sound understanding of the pertinent of body knowledge and academic debates that exist within and often external to specific discipline, meaning it is a way of making a claim or a viewpoint by using evidence and logic to support your writing, no, or your academic text. And we also have thesis driven. No, thesis driven is the starting point of an academic text is a particular perspective, idea, or possession applied to a chosen research problem, such as establishing, proving, or disproving solutions to the questions posed to the topic. So, thesis driven is initial thesis statement that establish a claim or argument that support and develop the claim, no? And if you will just to ask, no, this statement is the main argument of your paper. Now, let's go proceed on the futures of academic texts. We have complex. In complex, written language has no longer words. It is lexically more varied vocabulary, meaning to say it is a text uses a wide range of words and it is avoiding repetition and using precise language. No, wherein texts are shorter, language has more grammatical complexity, including more subordinate clauses. Subordinate clauses are, for example, after, although, so on and so forth. And there are more passives, no? And aside from that, we have formal should avoid colloquial words and expressions. Colloquial words are the informal words that we usually use in our everyday life, no? And of course, academic texts should be precise. Facts are given accurately and precisely. And academics should have objective, meaning it has a fewer words that emphasize on the information you want to give and the arguments you want to make. Mostly use nouns or adjectives rather than the verbs or adverbs. And explicit. It is the responsibility of the writer in English to make it clear to the reader how the various parts of the text are related. It is the connection, no? You have to make sure that the parts that you are using, the structure, are connected to the texts. and that is explicit. Next, we have accurate. Of course, this is very self-explanatory. When you are creating academic texts, you have to make sure that you are using accurate words or uses vocabulary are accurately. Or most subjects have words with narrow specific meanings. Meaning to say, it should be understandable, no? And next, we have hedging. It is necessary to make decisions about your stance on a particular subject or the strength of the claims you are making. And of course, you have to be responsible. You must be responsible for and must be able to provide evidence and justification for any claims you make. And of course, when you are creating academic texts, you have to make sure that you are well organized and you have flows to follow, no? And of course, you have to make sure that you have planned, that your academic texts are well planned and it takes place after research and evaluation according to specific purpose and plan. Clear? Now, let's go proceed on the purposes in reading an academic texts. These are the purposes. We have the first one is to locate a main idea, to scan for information, to identify gaps in existing studies, to connect new ideas to existing ones, to gain more pieces of informations, to support a particular writing assignment, and to deeply understanding an existing idea. And of course, we have factors to consider in academic writing or writing academic texts. It should state critical questions and issues so that you can potentially create your own solution. It should provide facts and evidence from credible sources. You have to make sure that um, the sources that you have are all reliable, are all truthful, are all factual. No, you have to make sure that they are people who thoroughly investigate the information. No, and you have to use precise and accurate words when avoiding jargon. And make sure that take an objective point of view. When you say objective point of view, make sure that you have purpose, you have goal, no? And you have less of references and use quotations language. So let's go proceed on languages. So academic language is the language needed by students to do the work in schools. It includes, for example, discipline-specific vocabulary, grammar, and punctuation, and application of rhetoric rhetorical conventions and devices that are typical for a content area, essay, lab reports, discussions of a controversial issue. So students who master academic language are more likely to be successful in academic and professional settings. For example, when you are um, joining specific programs inside your school, it's easy for you to create specific academic writing or to create performance that are suitable to that program because you are aware on how to use academic language, no? On how to address controversial issues using academic language formally and properly. Now, in languages, we also have social language, which is the set of vocabulary that allows us to communicate with others in the context of regular or daily conversation.